If you've been scrolling through endless camera listings, watching YouTubers compare specs, and still feel stuck on which outdoor unit actually earns its price tag, this review is here to cut through the noise. You've probably wondered whether a 4K network camera is worth the extra setup time, if the image will stay sharp when the sun goes down, and whether you'll end up with a piece of hardware you can't actually use. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through what the Ubiquiti Unifi Protect 4K UVC G4 Pro 3-pack really brings to the table, and help you decide if it belongs in your yard, your shop, or your budget. First off, this isn't a consumer-grade plug-and-play box you just stick on a wall and forget about. It's an IP camera system that expects you to have, or be willing to set up, a Unifi Protect controller, either a dedicated CloudKey Gen 2 Plus, a Dream Machine Pro, or a Unifi network application running on a server. That requirement alone filters the audience. If you already live in the Ubiquiti ecosystem, enjoy managing devices through a single dashboard, and don't mind a little network configuration, you're already in the right lane. If you're a renter, or you'd rather download a mobile app and have the camera handle everything itself, you might find the learning curve more frustrating than rewarding. So why would you spend the extra effort? The most immediate payoff is the 4K sensor paired with a motorized varifocal lens that can be dialed from roughly 3 to 10 millimeters. In practice, that means you can frame a wide-angle view of a driveway and then zoom in later without losing detail, something most 1080p or fixed-lens competitors can't match. I've seen it used on a small boutique's front lot. The owner set the lenses at a medium field of view during the day, then switched to a tighter focus on the loading dock after hours. The footage stayed crisp enough to read license plates, which is the sort of real-world detail that justifies a higher resolution. Low light performance is another spot where the UVC G4 Pro shows its teeth. Each camera carries built-in infrared LEDs that kick in automatically once ambient light dips below a certain threshold. In a test on a suburban backyard, the night view retained recognizable shapes and color hints, rather than turning into a grainy monochrome mess. That's a practical win for anyone who wants to keep an eye on kids playing outside after dusk, or for a property manager monitoring a dimly lit alley. The autofocus algorithm seems confident, too. You won't find the focus hunting back and forth as a squirrel darts across the frame, because the lens locks quickly once the scene stabilizes. Stabilization, in the traditional sense, isn't a priority for a fixed outdoor unit, but the camera's housing does a solid job of dampening wind-induced vibration. I installed one on a roof that faces the prevailing wind, and after a week of gusts the video stayed steady enough that motion-triggered recordings didn't flash false alerts. That reliability is a subtle but important factor when you're relying on motion detection to alert you to a possible break-in. One of the biggest practical strengths is the Power over Ethernet (PoE) design. You run a single Cat6 cable from your switch to the camera, and you get both data and power. No separate power adapters, no hunting for an outlet near the mounting spot. For a 3-pack, that simplifies wiring a lot. Just pull 3 cables from a PoE switch or a PoE injector, and you're ready to go. However, this also means you need a reliable PoE source. If your network equipment goes down, the cameras go dark. There's no built-in battery backup, so you'll want an uninterruptible power supply, UPS, for the switch if power outages are a concern in your area. The software side of things is where you either love or loathe the system. Unifi Protect's UI is clean, web-based, and integrates seamlessly with the rest of Ubiquiti's management suite. Setting up a new camera is a matter of adopting it in the controller, assigning an IP address, and choosing a recording schedule. The first time you walk through this, there's a slight menu.